Well, Ann Coulter, of course, best-selling author, a lot of number one bestsellers, and, of course, a great columnist. You go to anncoulter.com. You can get her column. Now, what you want to do is you get the latest book. I think it's her best one, Resistance is Futile. That's the latest book. But also, the best book ever on the border, the crisis, the illegal immigration, is her book, Adios America. You should get that, too. And, of course, the column. Everything is at anncoulter.com. And follow her on Twitter. Ann Coulter, how you doing?
Fine, thanks. How are you, Mark Simone?
Very good. So, look what you've caused. Look at the trouble you've started. I see your name everywhere, yesterday, too, about what are you going to say next to the president?
Yes, it's so outrageous of me to expect a president to keep his promises.
Well, hey, we have a video up on the webpage today of the guy just took a helicopter and flew over the whole 2,000-mile border.
Oh, really? That sounds great.
Boy, some of it is just wide open. I mean, anybody could just walk across it. It is kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yes, it is crazy, and everyone knows it's crazy. The whole point of this is the inverse of my point and the base's point. People who voted for Trump, they just want Trump to break a promise. I mean, yeah, okay, they want the Democratic voters. They want lots of poor people coming in and sucking up government services because then they get to employ more people working for the government. All that's good for the Democrats. Very bad for the country, but good for them. But I don't think. I mean, it really you'd have to be Satan to want to hurt the working class that much. I don't think they take any particular delight in that. We know Bernie Sanders doesn't. He said actually after he declared he was running for president, he gave that famous interview with Ezra Klein at Vox, and Klein just assumed, because he's a Democrat, of course he's for wide open immigration, and Bernie Sanders snapped at him and said, no, that's a Koch brothers idea. They want to bring in low-wage workers. It's great for them, but it's killing our working class. So why are the Democrats so intransigent? It's because they need Trump to break this promise. They know what I know. He's dead if he doesn't build the wall. It's exactly what they did with George Bush the first. And his promise about read my lips, no new taxes, that wasn't a promise that was made every single day for 18 months. It was a big part of his speech. It was the headline of his speech. But it was a single speech he gave at the Republican convention saying, read my lips, no new taxes. Thus, there's the Democrats' playbook. Our objective, make him raise taxes so we can call him a liar. And later, Democrats admitted it. We didn't need those taxes. We just needed to get him to break his promise. So Clinton ran for office and beat him as if Clinton was the big tax cutter. Clinton taunted him throughout that campaign, saying, oh, yeah, you can't trust him. He said, read my lips, no new taxes. And what does he do? He raises taxes. That's why the Democrats are shutting down the government over a paltry amount of government spending. At the highest estimates of the $5 billion is that it's 0.11% of the federal budget. No, we can't spend that. We're suddenly so fiscally conservative. So that's what this is all about. And it's not, and by the way, the government isn't really shut down. It's 1/3 of the government, so it's 800,000 employees out of, I don't know, something like, 2 million, or 3 million, I forget what it is, 4 million, whatever it is. And half of those 800,000 are essential employees, and all employees know full well, everybody knows, and just to be sure, Congress passed a law saying, and as soon as we start up again, you get all of your back pay. Thirdly, they're paid more than we are and have better benefits anyway. So this weeping about how they can't put food on the table is just nonsense. It's acting.
Yeah, also, they've been through 18 shutdowns, two last year. I'm sure they factored this into,
it's interesting. The really big stuff, the stuff the New York Times will usually weep and moan and blame Republicans for, particularly, for example, when Gingrich was House Leader. It's all like old people not getting their Medicare checks, All of that is up and running.
Yeah.
HHS is running. Food stamps are going out. Medicare, Medicaid, all of that is taken care of. Of course, all of the essential employees need to work. So they're really down to complaining about the gift shop at Yosemite.
So, hey, but Ann Coulter, there's another big factor here when it comes to building a wall. The Koch brothers, the Business Roundtable,
Yes.
the Chamber of Commerce, the lobbyists, the corporations are paying everybody, and I mean Democrats and Republicans,
Yes.
to make sure that border stays wide open when they say, why didn't he do it when the Republicans controlled Congress? Because there was nobody more crooked on this than Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell. So with those
Yes.
guys paying off Schumer, Pelosi, they're never going to budge.
No, that's right. Republicans, I thought Trump becoming president, they would finally wake up and realize that there is one thing you need more than money. You need votes. And this is what the American people have been asking for, voting for 30 years. Stop dumping low-wage immigrants on us. We just need a pause. As Trump said, I think quite beautifully in his Oval Office address, when you build a fence around your house, it's not because you hate people on the other side, it's because you love the people inside. This isn't hatred for the rest of the world. Americans are the kindest people in the world, the most charitable, the most generous, but we need a break. We can't take care of the immigrants who have been coming in for the last 30 years. But you're absolutely right. It is the Koch brothers and the Chamber of Commerce, and that's why the employer sanctions never go into place. We, of course, have, and this is fully described with bitter, angry detail in Adios America. We've done this before. We had the amnesty, the Reagan amnesty in 1986, the Simpson-Mazzoli Act. It was passed exactly 30 years to the day that Ronald Reagan was, or that Donald Trump was elected president. 30 days, or 30 years. And that was passed with all these promises. I've looked it up on Nexus. This is it. This is going to end the illegal immigration problem forever. We're going to amnesty the 3 million here, and we will have border security up the wazoo. Plus, we're going to put into place these aggressive employer sanctions, so the magnet will be turned off. If you can't employ illegal aliens, they'll stop coming, and we'll have the border security. We got the amnesty. Way more than 3 million. Oh, they were still out. The Ninth Circuit was still amnestying Haitians under that act 20 years later. But we never got the employer sanctions. And on closer examination, I looked into this. Who was stopping the employer sanctions? Nope, it was the Republicans.
Yeah, well,
employers would come to them and say, no, well, it may wreck the country, but look at the profit I can make.
okay, but let's say Schumer and Pelosi and Paul Ryan, they all had a little conference call there with the Koch brothers and the Chamber of Commerce, and they say, what about we build a little wall? And they're going to hear, what the hell am I paying you people for? No wall. What are you going to do about that? You can't solve that problem.
Well, for one thing, I think it's just letting people know that that's what's going on so that they call their representatives. I mean, I think people who have been paying attention know that it is both the Democrats and the Republicans aligned against the people on this issue, but the Democrats and the media have turned the wall and Trump's immigration promises into something that is specific to Trump. So anybody who doesn't like Trump, and I got to say, I'm amazed that his public approval rating isn't 0, considering what our media, they've turned build the wall into something like lock her up or crooked Hillary.
Yeah.
No, it isn't. Democrats and liberals listening to this radio show, you're being scammed by the media and your own party. This is the elite against the people.
I agree. Ann Coulter, let me just ask you another question or two about some other stuff. Kirsten Gillibrand announces she's going to run. What the hell is she going to run based on? She looks nice, cute, nice smile, no personality, nothing to say. What on earth is she running on?
Well, she was on the cutting edge of believing Mattress Girl at Columbia University,
That's right.
inviting her to a State of the Union address before Mattress Girl's texts came out, and we found out that she had just ruined some poor guy's life just because he broke up with her.
I forgot about that one. All right.
So I put that at the top of her campaign pamphlet.
And Bloomberg, listen, successful business guy, obviously knows how to manage things, but what does he think? He's got no personality, a whiny little billionaire. How's he going to run?
I suspect, and I hope this isn't true because I would love for him to run, but I think he'll take a poll. I mean, I'd love for him to run because I'd like to see him be slapped down. I guess I should clarify that because I think it would be funny, and I'd like to see him spend a lot of money. And, a lot of campaign consultants or whomever he's paying to tell him, yeah, totally, the American people are going to love you. They'll make a lot of money. But I think he'll probably take a poll and end up like that guy Steyer out here in California.
Yeah.
What's his name? The one that's
Tom
he's
Steyer.
A lot like he's a lot. He reminds me a lot of Bloomberg. Number one, the animus for running is mostly just Trump hatred. B, just not attractive. The whiny voice. The bragging about how rich he is, and then he announced last week he isn't running. We were all sure he was going to run. No, somebody showed him an honest poll.
Oh, but his big campaign was climate change and conserve fuel. Maybe somebody said to him, you own 3 jets, 2 helicopters, 6 boats, 11 houses. You can't tell people to conserve energy.
Yeah. Climate change. That's an emergency. And we're absolutely sure that a carbon tax will work. But the science proves it. But the science does not prove that walls work.
Yeah.
So I think we have a lot more evidence on walls working than carbon taxes working.
Have you noticed they bring up this point? If this is an emergency, a wall could take 2 to 5 years. So how's that helping an emergency? But with climate change, they got a 20-year solution for the emergency.
Right. No, the troops should be at the border as the wall is going up, and it can go pretty fast, and it's going to create a lot of jobs. I mean, a wall is just a great thing for so many reasons. Even if we didn't actually desperately need a wall, it would be a fantastic works program. If you just had, 50,000 Americans digging a hole one place and then refilling it. These are great jobs. We need infrastructure, and the main infrastructure we need is a wall around our country.
When they say it's 2,000 miles, you can't build a wall 2,000 miles. You ever see the big walls on the highway, like the noise walls? They're like 20 feet. I checked. We've built 6,000 miles of those in this country.
6,000.
Yeah. So, that didn't seem to be a lot of effort.
They go up pretty fast, and also the nonsense that Kirsten Nielsen, Trump's head of Homeland Security, and every once in a while they get Trump to utter this nonsense. I think it's just because they need to be saying words other than something stupid like walls don't work. And that's why they keep telling us, well, we don't need a wall every place. Isn't that fascinating? Could you build it where we need it? But beyond that, look at Israel's wall. They build walls underwater.
Yeah. When they say walls don't work, you ever go to a zoo? People are willing to stand 10 feet from a big ferocious lion or a gorilla because they know this wall is going to work and they're not going to get attacked.
No, it's totally crazy. It's totally crazy. But the quickest answer to any complaints about a wall is ask Israel. They have a beautiful wall. It cut illegal immigration. It's several hundred miles long, 16 feet high. It cut illegal immigration by 99.4% as soon as it was approved. That wasn't good enough for Israel. So in some portions, they add another 10 feet to its fencing and walls, with barbed wire and guards. They added another 10 feet. Illegal immigration fell to 0.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Hey, everybody get Ann Coulter's book. The new book is Resistance is Futile. I think it's her best book yet. And I think they should go back and get Adios America. That's still the best book on the border and the crisis at the border and all that stuff. And they can get both, right? AnnCoulter.com.
Yes, and maybe get 2 Adios Americas and send one to Trump.
Oh, okay. And, of course, you can go to Amazon and get it. But go to AnnCoulter.com. You can get her books. You can get her new column. It comes out tonight. And also follow Ann Coulter on Twitter and Facebook. And
I have a good one coming out tonight. Don't miss it.
All right. So go to AnnCoulter.com and sign up there and do all that stuff. Ann Coulter, thanks for being with us.
Thanks. Talk to you next week, Mark. Bye-bye.
All right, take care.